This is SoapBox Radio. Potting it out there with my lime boots. The Lifestyle Edit.
Hey guys, it's Ryan. It's a Thursday afternoon coming to you pre-recorded today and we're not coming from the studio. We had some problems in our studio last week where our lines were hit by some construction that's taking place. So we've relocated the studio to quite a stunning venue. Nice views as I look out the window now over Melville and Joburg City Centre, so it makes for a bit of a change. But we've got everything set up, ready to come back to you. Didn't chat to you guys last week, so I've missed you. I haven't seen you for 2 weeks, so welcome back to SoapBox Radio. And today we're doing a lifestyle edit show. It's a show that I've really been wanting to do for a long time with two very, very special people who I'm going to introduce to you shortly. I'm talking today about the Bonafide family, namely Bonafide Beards, Bonafide Barbers, and Bonafide Motor Company. Starting with Bonafide Beards, Monique proudly claims that she loves facial hair despite having any that I can see, but was looking for beard grooming products for Joe's magnificent mane, which were not to be found in South Africa at the time. The development of the beard care range led Joe and Monique to the next logical step, Bonafide Barbers, which is one of the funkiest shops in Parkhurst. Shortly thereafter, Bonafide Motor Company was added to the family to capitalize on Joe's unique skill set, which we'll get to shortly. Monique and Joe Fleming, welcome.
Hey.
Hello.
Good to have you guys in the studio. Our amended studio.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Is my brief summary accurate, guys?
I think it pretty much sums it up very well. Yes,
okay.
I do not have facial hair.
Okay.
I do love facial hair, but I don't have my own.
When I read that the other day, I read it this morning, and I just thought it was just so you. I could hear you talking as I read the type.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sometimes get asked how I can, have such a high opinion of beards and know so much about it if I don't have a beard of my own.
Yeah.
And I have a really cheeky comeback to that question.
Yeah.
Where's your beard? I say it's in my pants.
God wonders is located differently. Private screen? No private screenings. Okay. Moving on from there. Hey? Mon, speak to us about your passion for beards and what would later become beard care.
Well, I didn't realize I actually had this affinity for facial hair until I met Joe really on Instagram, but that's a whole different story.
Are we getting to that story? Joe's going to recount all of that for us shortly.
We'll get to that story later. And it's only after he started growing his beard, it started irritating him and he was threatening to shave it off that I suddenly panicked and realized how much I really, really loved his facial hair. I always say it appeals to my inner cave woman.
Oh, really?
Facial hair, yeah.
Okay.
It kind of brings out something quite animalistic and
primitive in a good way.
Primitive, yes.
Natural.
Yeah. In fact, sorry, babe. I will always look at a man who has facial hair twice than a clean shaven.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So no affinity to the clean shaven chaps?
No, not a lot.
Okay. But Joe, didn't you shave your beard off at the end of last year, beginning of this year?
I did.
Completely, or was it just shaven down?
Did a hot towel shave.
Sure.
It was literally, I was in the shop and I was getting a haircut.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I decided that I wanted to shave my beard and to just keep my mustache. Because it was November and we did have an event that night or the night next.
Okay.
So I shaved the beard and it was all of a sudden, and I felt okay for the first couple of days, and then I did a complete shave of the mustache afterwards.
Yeah.
And I felt like a child.
Yeah, you do. That makes you look like 15
different.
years younger immediately. Hey?
Yeah, we had a lot of the staff and friends. They would just walk right past me. They had no idea it was me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't recognized by a lot of people, and it was actually kind of nice for a while that people didn't recognize me, so I could kind of fly under the radar.
I felt like I was cheating on my husband.
Yeah, with this other man.
with a young teenager.
The young boy.
I do have a baby face.
Ew.
I know that feeling because when we first met, and that's how I got involved with you guys, is I used to have a beard.
Yes.
I used to every winter grow a beard just because I don't like shaving, so that was always my excuse. But now with the blog, it sort of dates you, so you can't get content when you've got a beard and then have it shaved off and then post it. It gets very confusing. So I've just gone away from there. But I remember speaking to a friend of mine named Dion, and he said, Ryan, when I had the beard, you've got to get hold of these people from Bonafide, you know. Yeah. And I did, and I spoke to Monique, and it was like 1, 2, 3, done. Yes, we'll help you with this. We'll do that. And you guys have got the biggest hearts that I know between the two of you. So thank you very much for all your support. Even though I don't have a beard anymore, we still talk to each other.
We still love you. We still
Thank
love
you very
and
much.
That's the thing. We don't discriminate. You know, we don't discriminate against a man who doesn't have a beard. In fact, we have a full range of products for the man who shaves. We've never once, discriminated against a man who can't grow a beard, doesn't want to grow a beard. We consider everybody family, and that's how we treat you.
Sure, 100%.
Part of the family.
Mon, do you have a background in these matters for concocting beard care products?
So not really. My passion is hair, and I always wanted to be a hairdresser as a little girl. I chose a different path though in marketing and public relations. But the universe works in really weird and wonderful ways, and I did a complete full circle back into the hair industry by default, by beards.
Yeah. So you're actually making the products?
I handcraft all the products. I do a lot of research online. It's incredible what you can find out there. And I'm a very sensitive person in terms of tastes and smells. So I really base the products a lot on what appeals to me and what resonates with me in terms of natural products. I don't use any chemicals, parabens, sulfates, or preservatives. That is the most important thing. And then second for me is, how I feel about a product, how it makes me feel, how it smells on somebody else.
Okay, it's bringing that feminine side to the appreciation side to a man who's going to use these products and what the end result will be.
Yes, it is twofold. I mean, I have a very strong male energy, and I think that helps. But also, as a woman, smelling a beard and being intimate with a man who has a beard, it kind of helps.
That it flows and it works.
Yeah.
More agreeably, shall we say?
Yes.
And this the range is a result of you not finding products for Joe for his beard. Just talk us through that slightly.
Yeah. So I mean, initially our business is almost 3 years old. In fact, it is 3 years old. And back then, when I actively went out to search for products for Joe to use in order for him not to shave his beard, I really couldn't find anything. I went, from old school barbers to really hip happening salons. And when I asked for beard balm or beard oil, people kind of looked at me like I crawled out of cheese. And, I was told to use hair wax and use gel and use, clays. But none of that made sense to me because you're putting it on really sensitive skin. Your face is super sensitive. And secondly, it's going near your mouth and it's going near my mouth. And I quite frankly didn't want hair products on my husband's face or on mine. And it prompted me to look a little bit deeper into beard care products in South Africa. Joe's American, so he understands that. In America, there are thousands of companies. It's very, very common. And my second idea was to then import some for him as a gift. But, import duties, hassle, drama, time.
Not feasible.
No. And really, the more I looked, the more I realized that 99% of the guys making the stuff in America were these artisanal handcrafted products that were being produced in homes, basements and kitchens. And I kind of felt, well, if they can do it, so could I. 100%. And really, I get asked this question a lot, what was your business plan? And my business plan was to make a gift for my husband. That's essentially how it started.
That's such an awesome story. Sure. Joe, tell us, you're an American, as Mon has said, and you came to South Africa to meet up with Mon after having met her on Instagram. We alluded to this just now. Now we want the full scoop.
So the full scoop was that, I was living in San Diego, had a job there doing public relations, and I was big on Instagram, posting photos and always looking for different people. And I happened to come across this guy who was into motorcycles and old cars, and it happened to be Mona's ex.
Oh, okay.
And so through his photos, I came across her.
Yeah.
And became friends with her on Instagram, and we would like each other's photos occasionally. And eventually, months and months later, I put my Facebook profile link into my Instagram profile, And a few days later, I woke up in the morning and I had a friend request from Monique Fleming, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's that hot chick in South Africa."
Okay.
Sweet. So I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna get to work, and then I'm just gonna stalk her photos all day long. I'm not gonna work,
as everybody does on Facebook.
Yes, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to stalk her photos because when I got to work, she had messaged me, and so we messaged for I think 4 or 5 hours that day.
Sure.
And she finally had to go to sleep, and that's how our relationship started. And from that first morning, we would message each and every day, and I'd say after a week, we did like FaceTime calls, and 3 months after that, after we first initially met, I came here to visit with her for 3 weeks, and it was my first trip to South Africa. I knew nothing about South Africa, but I was obviously blown away by her and blown away by South Africa that I decided to move here, pack it up, sold 2 motorcycles, a car, had 2 yard sales, and then I moved here with 3 suitcases.
Well, he first decided he wanted to marry me.
Okay. So at least he had the order correct.
Yeah.
I knew what I was getting myself into when I first started messaging her all the time. I was like, look, if you get carried away with this is the possibility. And I was okay with that.
Yeah.
So I was more than happy to pack up and start a new life here with her.
A man with a plan, hey?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'm smiling.
And
my smile's touching my ears.
And I trust, I mean, at the end of the day, I think what I learned from it was that I trusted my gut.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people that cared for me, that raised their concerns, and I said, look, I really appreciate your concern, but at the end of the day, this is exactly what I want. And I knew it would work out.
Going to run after that. Cool. Guys, stay with me. When we come back, we're going to carry on talking to Joe and Monique and dive a little bit deeper into Bonafide.
This is SoapBox Radio. Potting it out there with My Lime Boots. The Lifestyle Edit. Share your thoughts and be part of the show now. Send a message on Twitter or Facebook at My Lime Boots. Find My Lime Boots on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. At My Lime Boots. And on YouTube. At My Lime Boots Live.
I'm joined this afternoon by Joe and Monique Fleming, the Bonafides themselves. Joe, I've always admired your magnificent beard, which I think has really become quintessential Joe. It's the only way I've ever known you.
Thank you.
Go. I needed that sound effect. Where's that button? There we go. Push it again. There we go. Do it. What does a beard mean to you, Joe?
You know what? A beard, to me, this is how I normally say it, is that a beard to me means nothing to me.
Okay.
It's definitely a part of me, but I don't feel like my beard makes me who I am.
Sure.
My beard makes Joe to other people, if that makes sense.
No, it's an expression of an element of your character.
Yeah, and it's something that I've obviously have a super, what do I call it? It's my superpower.
Yeah.
Like my beard is my superpower.
Kryptonite.
It just grows.
Not kryptonite, superpower.
It just grows.
Okay.
So I have a natural talent to grow an amazing beard.
Yeah.
But sometimes I honestly forget that I have it. Like other people obviously know me by my beard, and that's amazing because then they can pick me out because I'm 2 meters tall, 6'7".
Yeah.
When I do not have a beard, the first thing people say is, "Wow, he is so tall. How tall are you?"
Oh, really?
But when I grew a beard, they no longer use that.
Yeah.
The first thing that they say is, "Man, check out that guy's beard."
Yeah.
They never say how tall I am.
How long did it take you to grow that?
Yeah, it's amazing because for years, obviously, I was the tallest person around.
Yeah.
And I wasn't self-conscious about it, but I got really tired of saying how tall I am. What's the weather like up there?
I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah. So now it's about my beard. So it's been 2 to 3 years that I've had a beard. So I'm still okay with people talking about the beard.
Wonderful.
It's fine. I do get a little self-conscious sometimes,
Is it?
but it's okay. And then some people try to pull my beard.
Oh, no, really?
Yes. But Mona and I have an agreement that if a woman pulls my beard, then
Without permission.
Yeah.
without permission, then I get to touch
Her boobies.
Her boobies.
Beard for boobies. I think it's
because
pretty
it's very rude. Like, I've been
sure.
places a few times where someone literally comes up and they just pull on a beard.
Oh no, that's
and
awesome.
it doesn't feel nice.
Yeah, not at all. Hey?
Do not pull beards.
For those listening, if you want to touch a man's beard, please
ask first.
That's all we ask for.
I never had anybody pull mine. People always wanted to touch, because I've also got quite a big, thick growth like you know. People always wanted to feel it and touch it, which is okay, you know, but rather ask first. Anyway.
Mine gets touched a lot as a guinea pig. They're like, Mona says, oh, you can touch his beard, you can feel how soft it is. Okay. And it's great for our products and sales.
100%, No, there we go. Then you're putting the beard to work there. So guys, the success of Bonafide Beards led to Bonafide Barbers. Pretty quickly after Beards was established. Talk me through that transition.
It was an interesting transition. Initially, we weren't planning on opening a barbershop. It also happened by mistake, in inverted commas. You know, as Joe said, a lot of what we do comes from our gut, and we have full trust and faith in the universe, and that, you know, there's a greater plan for us all. We both believe in a power greater than ourselves.
Sure.
And when it came to the barbershop, initially we renovated that space for retail and production only.
For the beard grooming products.
For the beard grooming products. So it was going to be retail, production and admin.
Yeah.
And just upon completion, we were approached by one of our favorite barbers who we had supplied product to in the past. And he was looking for a new space and, you know, kind of said, well, it kind of makes sense. What would you think about having a barber in this space? And we kind of agreed that it was a wonderful idea. And we created a really very small space for him because it was going to be retail, production and admin. And I mean, prior to opening the shop, you experienced yourself. We hadn't even put the finishing touches on yet. He was already inundated with clients, customers, people wanting appointments. And the night before, my assistant Cindy and I were about to move production into that space, Joe came home with a twinkle in his eye, and he was like, babe, we need to have a conversation.
Change plans.
No, we need to go eat first so that we can have a conversation.
Put you in a good space.
So that I don't kick you in the face. And I mean, it made perfect sense that the space would really work well as a barbershop and create a different element to our growing family of Bonafide Beards.
Talking about coming to the shop, I think it was the day before you opened. I was saying to Joe when we started that you were busy sitting on the floor. I was there the day before, and you were welding things and chains and like disc thing. I'm not a mechanical person, so I don't have the correct terminology. And you were welding, making this wonderful light fitting that runs down the back of the shop there. Talk us through the design style and the thinking behind what went into the shop, Joe.
Yes, I had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Is it?
Mona just had to walk in and welcome it.
And not trip over it.
The ideas originally came from, I'd say from one of our barbers. When he moved in and made the barber section his own, he had ammo boxes and raw steel and different things. So that's how our barber shop, like the barber area, expanded, was from his ideas. But for me personally, I looked at our barber shop as a photographic studio for me, because with our brand Bonafide Beards, I would go to different barber shops and places, and I would do photos of where we were going. And a lot of times I would notice that the barber shops and salons just had terrible lighting and just didn't look appealing for photos. So my main requirement for our barber shop was that I want this place to be my photo studio, and I want this place to look amazing with warm lighting, raw feel. It needed to be real and authentic to who Bonafide is. And that's like our shop is an extension
achieves
of us.
that well. I think it really does.
Pictures of motorcycles, it's tanks, it's real stuff. It's not a themed place. It is Bonafide. It is us.
It's a man cave.
But it's welcoming to women too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I think that the key is that you guys live your brand. It's just not something that you haven't bought a franchise and said, oh, I'm buying a Steers and putting a Steers in there. You know, you live, it's quintessentially both of you.
Correct.
You know. And so, Mon, what do you think the success behind Bonafide Beards and Bonafide Barbers has been? I mean, it is such a well-received brand.
Thank you. For me personally, it goes back to the definition of Bonafide. And I mean, that also came about accidentally. Initially, the company was called Bonafide. I can't even say it.
Sounds like you're wishing bad luck on somebody.
In a straight face. Bonafide beard balm. You know, and that wasn't very well received. A lot of guys were intimidated by that. You know, like, do I have to put this balm on my pip? Like, am I going to get a boner? And so Bona's beard balm, I'm very much all about the alliteration. And Bona is born from the initial name. But the actual definition of bona fide means real. It means authentic. You know, it's something that comes from
a deep space.
Yes, yes, a real space, a real space.
Comes from a space called you.
Correct.
You and you.
Correct, correct. And so really the success has been based on the realness of Joe and I, the realness of our products, the realness of our ingredients, the realness of our barbers, the realness of our shop. There's nothing, as Joe said, there's nothing contrived about it. What you see is what you get, whether it be with him and I, and we live our brand, and Bonafide beards and Bonafide barbers are really just, as you said, extensions of us. Yeah. And there's nothing contrived. It's real, it's organic, it's authentic, and it's very clear to see.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, stay tuned. When we come back, I'll be chatting to Joe and Mon about Bonafide Motor Company.
You're tuned in to SoapBox Radio. Podding it out there with My Line Boots. Share your thoughts and be part of the show now. Send a message on Twitter or Facebook at My Line Boots. Find My Line Boots on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. At My Line Boots. And on YouTube. At My Line Boots Live.
I'm back chatting to Joe and Monique Fleming about Bonafide, and in particular Bonafide Motor Company. Joe, how was Bonafide Motor Company a broadcast and media production company? How was that born?
So that started as a community sort of organization where obviously when I first moved here just now 4 years ago, I had no friends. Yeah. And so I knew Mona. And after we started the beard grooming company, I had met a few people riding motorcycles. And we came across this one coffee shop one day in Rosebank. And I was like, you know, it would be great to invite people to come here like on a Saturday morning and start sort of like a bike group or what I now call motorcycle enthusiasts. So we started off as a group of 4, and the next week that grew to 7 and then 10 and 15 and 20. And then I found that there was people out there like me that wanted to do events and things. And so that's when we started to do the motorcycle movie night. We would do rides. I've got an annual motorcycle run called the Sabi Bubble Run. And so Bonafide Motorco came out of that sort of community's need to go and do things. And my ultimate thing that I've noticed here in South Africa is that I absolutely love this place. And growing up as an American, we know nothing about South Africa. And so what I've found that I do is with these videos and with Bonafide Motorco is that I'm able to share South Africa with people around the world, specifically in the United States. And it's really helped a lot of my friends that are there to actually see what goes on here and what South Africa is really like. It's not a big safari like we all think.
Imagine,
Yeah, so along with the community and the events, we do a lot of work with brands. So we go to like Sawney Pass, and we worked with Triumph and Chevrolet. We do some other things with BMW Motorrad. And so, it's just about us going places and taking brands with us and documenting those travels.
Sure. And is the content well received in the States?
I believe so, yes. Because I was in marketing and public relations before, so I know what quality production is like, and that's what we try to keep our standards up. Like we want it to be beautiful and work. And so I think it's well received.
I think you do create amazing content. I always like it when you put new stuff. It always inspires me to look and see, well, how did Joe get that right? And I must remember something like that.
Speaking of that, there's another video coming out. I've got a teaser coming out today. And then I've got a full video coming out tomorrow of this race we did this weekend called Stofskop.
Yes.
It was a dirt track race and it's a lot of fun. So
I saw the pictures. I saw it looked.
it was very entertaining.
Yeah,
so we've got a nice video coming out tomorrow to show the day.
Yeah. Mon, how does Bonafide Motor Company carry on the ethos of the other Bonafides? Or was that a question I should be asking Joe?
That's a toughie.
I'd say that Bonafide Motor Co. it works well with Bonafide Beards and Bonafide Barbers, because what we're essentially able to do is a lot of the production work is able to kind of blend in with the other two brands, and a lot of the work that we do with some brands, the Bonafide Beards and Bonafide Barbers appeals to them as well, especially like hosting events at our space. That's Bonafide Motor Co. can bring motorcyclists and other people there to Bonafide Barbers, and those guys have beards. They enjoy good coffee, so they all kind of blend in together. So we essentially, I think we'll eventually call it Bonafide Brands.
Yes.
And then have an umbrella of all these different brands
that fall underneath the family.
Yeah.
Sure.
But essentially, at the end of the day, it is all Bonafide, and they all do blend in quite nicely.
Mon, what are some of the life lessons you've learned from this Bonafide journey? And then, Joe, I want to ask you the same question.
Sure. Quite a few. I was recently asked to list, a couple of my major disappointments as an entrepreneur and growing a business. And I had a long, hard think about that. And to be very honest, how I've approached, in fact, all of my aspects of life, is that I don't see setbacks, challenges, hurdles, or anything like that as a disappointment, as a negative. I look at all of those things as an opportunity to learn and to grow from. And I feel like that if you can't learn or grow from, a stuff up, then really just you're going to be dead in the water.
Sure.
Like, give up now.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. You can't let it get you.
Yeah, and so I look at all of those things as gifts, and that's probably the biggest thing I've learned. Meeting Joe, starting this business, learning to know a man in a marriage. It's not without its challenges, and if at any stage I don't learn or grow from these opportunities or setbacks or disappointments, then I kind of feel like I'm just wasting my time.
Yeah,
That's been the biggest lesson for me as a wife, as an entrepreneur, as a mother, as a friend, all aspects of my life. It's about looking at those things as gifts.
Yeah. Very strong message.
Yeah.
Very, very strong message.
Thanks.
Joe, on your side, life lessons that you've learned on this Bonafide journey?
I'd say there's quite a few. Learning to say no. We obviously get approached by various people, and people have other ideas of what they think will work. And at the end of the day, Mona and I trust our gut of what the brand is. And so we've had to learn to say no. And that saying no is actually really good for you. If you don't believe in it, then just say no. Find something else.
Yeah.
The other thing is trusting your gut. I think that's been a common thing since the day I moved here, was trusting my gut and going for it. And that's what we do with a lot of the stuff in our brand. And the last thing is, I forgot what I was going to say. I was looking at you now. Now I got confused.
Did my smile dazzle you?
Yes.
Again.
Confused and dazzled, dazed and confused. Just with regards to trusting your gut and saying no, it just brings me back to a point I wanted to make earlier, is that for us, no is a full sentence. No, nope, not today.
Yeah.
Those are all full sentences.
Yeah.
And you don't have to say yes to everything.
No,
because I'm also of the opinion that when in doubt, out.
Yeah, very much so.
I remembered what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. Was making mistakes and learning from them. So I love to make a mistake, because that means I was trying something that I didn't really know. But my thing is that if I make a mistake once, that's great. If I make it again, then I clearly didn't learn my lesson. So I love to try new things and make mistakes and see what happens and learn from those mistakes, because I'd say every day Mona and I are learning something new about owning a business. I mean, we have 3 brands, so there's a lot that's involved with each one of those. And there's so much. So we're learning accounting, marketing, shipping, delivery,
all over the place.
You name it, we do it. So one of these days we can take all that somewhere and teach other people how to do that.
Teach them that, yeah. Guys, we're running out of time, but I just want to touch briefly on Bonafide is no stranger to awards and accolades. Men's Health 2 years running, and you tell me the third year for 2017, the Men's Health Grooming Awards.
Correct.
You guys are there. You've won the last 2 years
in our
awards
category.
In your category.
Yes.
You're up again this year. You've been featured on Top Billing. Countless people are writing about you on
Kwela,
platforms. Yes.
TakeNet.
Wonderful, you
Flits.
know. And you personally have made the top 40 and the top 6 in your entrepreneur category for the 2017 Absa Jewish Achiever Awards.
Correct.
From a list of 400, nochal.
I heard so,
Sure,
yeah.
amazing.
So.
Firstly, well done.
Thank you.
And just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's been a journey that I have followed with my husband very close by my side. In fact, Bonafide wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our partnership and our teamwork and our effort. I've not done this alone. I have an incredible assistant, Cindy. She's literally my right hand, my other right hand. And it's a little bit surreal to have been nominated. Well, no, not that I was not surreal that I was nominated. I was nominated by my peers. It's just a little bit surreal that I've gotten this far.
Top 6.
Yeah, because as Joe said, we're learning about ourselves and our business every single day, and sometimes you kind of feel like you suffer from a little bit of imposter syndrome, do I really know what I'm doing?
Yeah, that doubt, yeah.
Yeah, but the truth is you do. And you've just got to, keep trusting and surrendering in yourself, in a greater power than yourself, and in the people who hold you and support you and love you.
Yeah, 100%. As we wrap up, Joe, do you want to remind us where the listeners can find the Bonafide family on social media?
Oh, all over Facebook, Instagram.
I'm all over her Facebook.
YouTube. No, if you look up, I think if you type in anything Bonafide, it'll come up. So we have Bonafide Barbers, Bonafide Beards, and Bonafide Motoco. Yeah. All those can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, kind of a little bit. And then we obviously have a YouTube channel as well. Yeah. And Vimeo.
Vimeo.
Twitter's like the gingered step head.
Yeah. Not too convinced.
I don't have an attention span for Twitter.
Step brother.
Yeah. Guys, if you have a look at my Facebook and my Twitter feed, you'll see I've just posted all of Bonafide's contact details there. And I would really suggest you guys get in touch with the guys at Bonafide, especially a trip to the barbershop is an experience in itself.
And please, we do not discriminate. You don't have to have a beard to use our products. You don't have to have a beard to come to our barbershop. We have a fully fledged range called Bonafide Faces that appeals to the man who doesn't grow a beard and who enjoys shaving. And as you said, Ryan, hot towel shaves, haircuts, beard trims. We offer a full service range at the barbershop.
100%. Yeah. Guys, it's been great chatting to you. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you both here. I called you legends from the first day I started, and I still stick to that. I really believe you are.
Bless your heart.
I wish you every success. I wish you however many more Bonafides you want to have.
Thank you.
I just think just keep being true to who and what you are and blessing us with this wonderful gift that you guys have for it.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share.
100%.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Monique. Guys, I'll be back with you again next week. We have a very special show next week. We're coming to you live from Cape Town, from the top of Table Mountain next week, and from Monday we'll be throwing out, I'm looking for 3 listeners to come and join me. I'll be joined by Mishka Patel from the top of the mountain to come and join us and engage with us in the radio show. So watch my channels for Monday. We'll be putting that out. We're looking for 3 people. That was SoapBox Radio, and I'm out of here.
You've been listening to SoapBox Radio, potting it out there with my Lime Boots. Find My Lime Boots on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. At My Lime Boots. And on YouTube. At My Lime Boots Live. brandlive.co.za.
Have you ever thought about the power of social media? Social media has the power to make your business grow. Grow! Yeah. Why don't you let us manage your social media? Because our business is to see your business grow. Visit us at www.beastdownmedia.co.za.